Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Commission. I am the president, Regina Alcazar. It is April 15th, 2024. We're starting at 2:36 p.m. Apologies for the delay. We were waiting for ex officio members who are not here, but we can go ahead and call the roll, please.
Certainly. Commissioners Kalfayan.
Present.
Meek.
Here, present.
Sardarbegian.
Present.
Wolfson is absent. Ex officio Commissioners Kevorkian and Minassian are absent. And President Alcazar.
Present.
Okay, the agenda for the April 15, 2024 regular meeting was posted on the bulletin board outside City Hall on or before Friday, April 12, 2024. Item 2, introductions and presentations. At A, introduction of new or promoted CSP employees.
Good afternoon, President Alcazar, members of the Commission. My name is Sabah Garabedian, Community Services Manager with the Community Services and Parks Department. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating Walter Alvarez, recently promoted to Community Services Coordinator, Pacific Community Center. Walter has been with the City of Glendale since 1995. After a 2-year stint with the City of Glendale as a recreation leader, where he was working in day camp programs at Maple Park, he went to LA County and worked for the Department of Children and Family Services. After about 3 years, Walter's love and passion for recreation and our community brought him back to the City of Glendale, where he continued working for our department to today. Walter, throughout his history with the department, has supervised numerous after-school programs in the form of our childcare programs and our One Glendale After-School Youth Sports Program, being one of the implementers for that program back in 2015. He has also worked in our Youth and Family Services section, one of the originators and implementers of our Teen Night Out program, which has over time developed into a weekly program, and also headed up various other programs such as our Flicks on the Go mobile movie package rental that we had. He also has experience in therapeutic recreation and a lot more. We could be here for quite a bit of time. But however, Walter's new role will be at Pacific Community Center supervising Edison After School Club, which is our year-round program providing after-school care for Edison elementary students, as well as our seasonal childcare programs in the form of our day camps, Thanksgiving, winter, spring, and summer, and our Parents' Night Out packages, in addition to some other duties. So please join me in welcoming Walter.
Thank you so much for joining the City of Glendale. And of course, also the sort of the lineage of all of the programs you've been involved is very appreciated, and it shows that you've brought a lot of value to, all of our programs for the city and making the city a better place. And biased, but my son went to Edison, so I'm excited for you to join that family as well. So thank you.
Great, thank you.
Welcome, Walter.
Thank you.
You're in a busy place.
Yes.
I try to get over there quite often, and it's a fun place to be. A lot of things happening, and I thank you for joining us and all the work you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, thank you for the welcoming, and have a great day. Thanks.
Okay, next item is item 3, upcoming council agenda items.
Thank you, President Alcazar, members of the commission. We have one item coming up this month, which is tomorrow night. Amendment 2 for fiscal year 2023-2024, LA County Aging and Disabilities, one-time baseline funding allocation in the amount of $5,000 for our supportive services program.
Thank you. I think we can go to the next item, please.
Next is item 4, commission staff comments.
I'll open it up to my colleagues. Does anyone else have any comments? No. Questions?
I do.
Go ahead.
I would just like an update on the Fremont Park and see if we're on schedule, how things are going down there. I did hear you were able to take a little tour, or a work tour, I guess, over the other day. I'd like to see how things are going that way. Also, on the so-called Edison extension of Glorietta, I'm not sure what we're calling that area yet, but how the planning is going for that. And lastly, I would like to know I believe there's a replacement for from artificial turf that's coming up, and I'm wondering what we're doing with the old turf.
Sure, President Alcazar, members of the commission, we'll start with the turf. So the artificial turf, we have one project that has been approved, which is the Pacific Park Artificial Turf Renovation Project. That's the existing field that we have over at Edison Elementary. We'll be replacing it with artificial turf. Basically, as part of the specifications, we will require the contractor who will renovate the field to recycle that material. So about 85% of the material is recycled. What they do is they take the material and they build the shock absorbers for the product below the artificial turf. So most of the turf will be recycled. As for Fremont Park renovation project is on schedule. We hope that the project will be completed end of March of 2025, beginning of April 2025.
That's excellent. I was thinking it would take longer than that, but that's great. Glad to hear it. I stop by and try to peek through the fence often.
Yeah, they're coming along. We did have some small delay regarding due to the rains, but so far they're on schedule and on track. And then your third item was the Southern
Glorietta,
California Edison. We're currently working with Southern California Edison on the contracts for both the north end of there's two parcels, the north end of Glorietta and the south end of Glorietta. So we're continuing to work with Southern California Edison.
Thank you.
And just welcoming in the ex officio commission members, Kevorkian and Minassian. You just walked in, so we just opened it up the floor to any items that staff or our commission wants to bring up. If you wanted to bring anything up, not to put you on the spot, but okay, great. Oh, go ahead.
Just want to say how beautiful the weather is. So let's get out there and enjoy our parks. I know our teams work very hard to maintain them, and they look beautiful. And I'm looking forward to going to some parks this spring, and then summer is coming up. And then I see that the item A for the reports on the inclusive playground amenities is on the agenda. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it today from the representation of that organization, but I will definitely be sending them a clip of this meeting so they can watch it and be informed. So thank you for putting it.
Thank you, and appreciate you following up with our community members on that information. I will also add that flowers are blooming, so yes, definitely step outside if you can. I think we can go to the next item, please.
Item 5 is oral communications. I don't have any calls or cards. Item 6, consent items. At A is approval of the minutes of the commission regular meeting held on March 18, 2024.
I would go ahead and move that we accept the minutes.
And I'll take roll call. Commissioners Kalfayan.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes?
Sardarbegian. Wolfson is absent. President Alcazar.
I will abstain because I was not present.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
item is item 7, action items. A is parking lot 11, park development concept. At 1 is motion providing feedback to city staff and a recommendation to city council on the concept of city-owned parking lot 11 being converted into a park.
Thank you. And appreciate the staff bringing this item back to our desks. I would like to propose actually and move that we postpone hearing and voting on this item until next month. Unfortunately, Commissioner Wolfson is not present today, and I know that she very much wanted to be part of that conversation and actually brought this item back to our agenda. So out of respect, would love if and appreciate if my fellow colleagues would agree with that, and we can hear and discuss this item next month on May's agenda. And apologies if we have any community members who are planning to call in for this item and for the staff for the delay. But I will, move to have it heard next month. If I can get a second. And I think, do we need to call roll for that, or?
We
Oh,
don't,
we-
we don't actually need
Oh.
to. Yeah.
Mind. Thank you for the support.
Okay. Item 8, reports information only at A is inclusive playground amenities in City of Glendale Parks. It's an oral report.
Thank you, President Alcazar, members of the commission. A few months ago, ex officio member Kevorkian requested from staff to present a report on all-inclusive programs and playgrounds and amenities that we have in our parks. So here we are today. Just a quick presentation. A little background. In March of 2016, as part of the DIF strategic plan, the city council approved the Maple Park all-inclusive playground. They allocated $825,000 as part of the fiscal year 16-17 budget. And we had an agreement with Shane's Inspiration. Shane's Inspiration is a nonprofit organization that helps municipalities and other nonprofit organizations and schools and so on build all-inclusive playgrounds. With that being said, after the all-inclusive playground was approved, our goal always has been to create more inclusive spaces throughout our park system that meets the needs of all of our residents in Glendale. So universally accessible playgrounds allow children of all abilities to play together. It's also intergenerational. What I've seen, especially when I used to take my kids when they were younger to playgrounds, is not only do kids play, but the adults play, caregivers, let it be grandparents, seniors, as well as parents and children. So it'll allow all children of all abilities to play together. We provide safe, state-of-the-art, sensory-rich environments for nurturing children with developmental disabilities. And children of all abilities learn to communicate with each other, accept, trust, and be compassionate. It's all about education. So our all-inclusive playgrounds, when we have play dates and when we have our programming once a month, it's open to everyone with all of it, with all abilities. So everyone can accept each other and trust and communicate with each other. So the Maple Park all-inclusive playground, this was our rendering that we presented to City Council back in 2018. As you see, it's got a number of ramps. It's got a concrete ramp, wheelchair accessible, to have any participant with a wheelchair have access to the playground itself. It has ground level play with sensory and cognitive different types of learning, let it be a learning board, an educational board, and so on. We also have the Sway Fun on the lower right-hand corner, which is also wheelchair accessible. This is the final product. The playground was open August of 2019. It was a very big event where we had a number of children participate in the opening ceremony. Programming. So this is what's near and dear to my heart, is the programming aspect of the playground. This is the only playground that we program on a monthly basis. We have a program called Maple Park Buddies, where anyone can come out and play with children of all abilities. We have staff that organize a little arts and crafts. We have snacks, and basically it's a monthly play date that is organized by our staff. And then a couple times a year, between 3 to 4 times a year, we partner with Shane's Inspiration, and they promote the program and the play date to all of their contacts, LA County wide. We were the 72nd all-inclusive Shane's Inspiration playground that was built, and I believe they have over 80 playgrounds now throughout the world. And in the hopes that they're working on a number of other playgrounds throughout LA County. So the programs that we offer allow children with and without disabilities a chance to socialize. That's our number one goal, is for the kids to socialize with each other. And we also work with local schools. Our largest partner, GUSD, we work with GUSD Special Education and have their participants come out to Maple Park and enjoy the playground. Benefits of physical and sensory and social play. So our playgrounds have a number of amenities. We have climbing, rocking, spinning, sliding, swinging, nooks, and auditory music play, which all increase, the strength, balance, and mobility, development motor planning skills, and it also develops muscles and motor planning for all of our children. We also have our newest playgrounds that we have constructed is Glen Oaks and Pelanconi. These aren't 100% all-inclusive, but there are amenities that are inclusive, such as our message boards, our ground level play, and our swings. So this is the newest playground that was constructed last year, thanks to our Measure A program, LA County Measure A program at Glen Oaks. We have a 2 to 5 and 5 to 12-year-old playground there. And Pelanconi, thanks to our CDBG program, this playground was funded through CDBG. With that being said, that was a quick snapshot of our all-inclusive programs. Moving forward, our park planner, Mr. Gonzalez, did attend CPRS, and he's gathered a lot of information on all-inclusive play. And we are working on a number of playgrounds, and we will increase our all-inclusive play amenities throughout our playgrounds as we renovate our playgrounds throughout our park system.
Thank you, Director Bulanikian.
Sure.
Did any of my colleagues have any questions?
No, just wanted to thank you. I think that's really great for the community just to know and to see that there is opportunities for them and that there's more being looked into. So thank you for the presentation.
Sure thing. One other thing, I'm sorry, that I want to highlight is we have the Maple Park Therapeutic Recreation Program that's for adults with developmental disability, 18 and over. They meet Mondays and Thursdays at Maple Park. On Mondays, we have the Get Fit program where they come out, they go out to Maple Park and they have exercise class. And then on Thursdays, they come and hang out at Maple Park, I believe between 6 and 8 o'clock. And it's basically like a social hour, couple hours where they hang out with each other. So that's another program that we have for adults that are 18 and over.
I just wanted to say that I think it's really sweet how is it called the monthly buddies?
Yeah, monthly Maple Park buddies.
I feel like I know a lot of my cousins and some of my nephews that are homeschooled, and I think it's really sweet how they can go there and they can socialize, because when I was younger, the only way I had friends was from school, and maybe some of them feel a little like isolated, and I just think that's a really nice thing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Great. Yes, ex officio, Commissioner Kevorkian. No, again, just thank you for elevating that request from the public, and glad we had the opportunity to share more about our parks programs. As a small city, I think we do a really good job at trying to be as inclusive and as welcoming as possible to all a variety of people, accessibility and all of the above. So I hope, this information can be passed on, and I said you will. I will add that we are working on a parks assessment, right? And in hopes of just understanding what our needs are as is in our current state. And that's because, right, we've just had such an influx of population into our city. And so parks continue to be at a deficit as our especially our city center becomes more dense. Always have to keep in mind inclusivity. So thank you. And go ahead.
I have a question since we're in the playgrounds. Do we have a program how to upgrade and maintain our playgrounds all over the parks that we own?
Great question, President Alcazar, members of the Commissioner Kalfayan. We do have a program. It all depends on the amount of use our playgrounds get. So we have playgrounds that are 20 years old that we're looking at renovating and replacing. We do work with our Public Works team. They have a playground inspector that inspects all of our playgrounds on a quarterly basis. And depending on the type of playground and the wear and tear, we'll go out and make the recommendation to see which playgrounds need to be renovated or not. Usually, playground that gets a lot of use, 12 to 15 years, every 12 to 15 years, we'll replace them. So if we replace 2 per year, that's basically our program, replacing 2 per year. Last year, we worked on Pelangoni and Glen Oaks. This year, we're going to be working on Mayor's Park and Emerald Isle.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I had no idea how much that goes into, a park and the thought of making sure it's accessible, that all not just kids in our city, but also adults. Like you said, I think that's really awesome that the adults have opportunities to have some therapy outside, be in the sun, be outside in our parks. So again, just that's really cool. And I look forward to seeing more maybe statistics and seeing how when the population changes, what that looks like as far as the parks go. So thank you.
Great. And I think with that, no other comments. We can go to the next item, please.
Okay, next is item 8B, Park Services Section Monthly Activity Report for February 2024.
Thank you, President Alcazar, members of the Commission. For the month of February, the Park Services Section completed 59 work orders for non-routine repair and preventative maintenance tasks. That was groundskeepers completed 33, pesticide applicator 6. Irrigation repair crew completed 20 work orders for a total of 460.5 hours. And we do have a few projects to show you. At Stengel Field, they were requesting a drinking fountain upgrade, and there was concern about the drainage of that and the water removal. And we were able to, it was in not a very good location. That drinking fountain has been in a state of disrepair for many, many years. And we were able to find the perfect drinking fountain with them. It was actually kind of exciting, kind of weird that I got excited about a drinking fountain, but we had to go in and do quite a bit of work to install the drinking fountain. There's one of the guys cutting out the slab from the old drinking fountain because we moved the location slightly to make it more accessible to all the baseball players. So they can, as you'll see with the drinking fountain, it need to be much more accessible for a reason. There they are, just removing the old slab, and we were excavating to make sure there were no other electrical pipes or anything in there where we were working. That box that you see there is actually the drain, where the water is removed. And there's the guys digging, Anthony and Kenny, getting it ready and connecting pipes for a new shutoff for this drinking fountain. There's the drain pipe, it's the larger white pipe there. Getting it ready, looks like they're forming up for concrete in there. So they moved it out away from the dugout there, and there they are, getting all the piping ready to go. It's actually, you'd think it'd be like one pipe, but there's quite a few pipes that needed to be moved or relocated. And there it is in the new location, the white pipe being the drain, and that's preparing for the new slab that we poured underneath. And that's the slab ready to go. There's the drinking fountain completed. And what we like about this one, which is exciting, is the baseball players really wanted this, was it has 2 bottle fillers. And it's also filtered water, and it does have a sensor where You don't need to push a button, you just put your bottle underneath it and it'll fill it up for you. Kind of like going to a restaurant. So that was kind of a fun project for them. The people at Stengel are very, very happy about that. Not going from having nothing to the Cadillac of drinking fountains was kind of fun. Second, this is ongoing. We are installing the eClean Technologies product that is a chemical-less restroom cleaner. It just uses aqueous ozone. It's kind of a very interesting technology, and it's very new to us, but we are seeing that it is working. This is the installation. Quite a bit goes into the installation, as you'll see one in a minute. That's the silver box is the eClean. So the water has to run through there there's a volume of water that it has to get, and it introduces ozone into the water. But it also requires electricity. So we did have to do quite a bit of plumbing and electrical work to get each one of these hooked up in all of the restrooms. So there's another one there's quite a few. I'll kind of go through them, but you can kind of see there's a bit of plumbing that goes into getting this done so that they will have access to the water from the service pipe, and then also it has to be rerouted to go through the eClean so that the ozone can be introduced. These are just various locations. You can see it's kind of, some areas are very cramped where they have to go. That's the internal portions of it. There's another one that we were lucky that had an outlet right next to it. So you can see the lights, when it's actually activated, the green light will come on. And so there's Anthony actually installing one. So they've installed quite a few, and they seem to be working. They're pretty good, and it's great because we don't have to use harsh chemicals. We're just using this aqueous ozone, so that the guys aren't mixing chemicals. It's saving some money, and it's also not putting harsh chemicals down the sewer lines. Then in the Montrose Shopping Park, we had some the traffic control barrier boxes that we had built a few years ago. It was time to, some of them had been damaged by, one got hit by a car, there was vandalism, and so we went up and did the repairs on that and decided instead of we had used a sort of a semi-exotic wood on it, and we had a clear finish on it, but decided it would be longer lasting finish to paint. So the guys went up and did repairs, sanded them, and got them all ready for, there was damage from Oktoberfest. That we had to replace a number of the boards in there. And so they got them all fixed, and that was the paint that we've put on them. And so this is great because it went from probably every 6 months where we would need to go up there and apply the clear varnish finish to now, I think this will last us a couple of years where we're not going to have to go up and repaint them twice a year. We can do it and we did show the color to the Montrose Shopping Park Association ahead of time so that we made sure we weren't just choosing our own color and then putting it in. There's a completed box that's down at Verdugo and Honolulu, and that's at Wickham and Honolulu, and they're done now. And then in the same area, Spar Heights neighborhood, there was a sign that you can see was a little worn out. And so we actually removed that, brought it down to the shop, and did repairs. And that's the one on the south end, which about 4 years ago, I believe we had to build an all-new one down there because it had been hit by a car. So we went ahead and built a new one down there, but the paint had cracked. So that's down at the shop. We had ground off the vinyl finish and repainted everything. It looks real nice and fresh up there now. That's the south end after having been touched up and painted. And that was the small projects we had for this month.
Great, thank
Any
you so much.
questions?
Thank you for that report. I'm always reminded, and reason why I love these reports, I'm reminded of how much work that the city does to maintain a lot of our infrastructure. And it's also an education component to it for me because, you know, you go into the details of the repairs that you do, which I love to see. And I'm sure, you know, it's great that the public can also see all of this happening behind the scenes. And it's a good reminder, right, that we also appreciate the public calling us and letting us know what needs to be fixed. So putting that out there, if anyone sees something wrong in our parks, please call in, and our team is happy to assist and get that fixed right away.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Did any of our commissioners have any questions? Go ahead.
Just a question. You just did that, you guys do great work, but I'm going to call them those round seating areas that people were going to, the Montrose Association said there are going to be some upgrades. Is that Parks or is that going to be somebody else?
No, that's Public Works. You're talking about the brick with the concrete benches in it? No, that would be Public Works, going to upgrade those. So, yeah, we're more the landscape, and then we had built those traffic control barrier boxes down in our shop. So I deal with Montrose quite a bit, but that would go through Public Works.
Okay, thank you.
Just out of curiosity, what does those boxes house again? You said traffic equipment, or what exactly are those? 'Cause I drive by them every day. I'm just curious.
Well, it's a cable barrier that they're used for special events when they're having the farmers market or the art walk. When they're having the big events, it has a cable that's about two cables that stretch across the street, and it's supposed to be able to stop a 40,000-pound truck. So it's to keep these events, the people in the events, safe. So I guess we did a pretty good job in hiding them because they don't look really good without the box.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yes, that's what they are.
Anyone else?
You were talking about how a lot of the signs, they were just like messed up because there was a lot of car crashes, and I was wondering if it's just because of the drivers or if there's like something that causes the issue like on the road or something.
No, that one was there's a turn there that I'm assuming someone on the sign that had gotten hit. That was probably someone was going a little too fast and lost control. Maybe it was during the rain, but it is right on a turn where most traffic is going pretty fast there. That was for the sign. The cable barrier box that had gotten hit, I think that what that was probably a truck that jumped the curb and hit the box and knocked it, and we had to realign it and then replace some of the boards. That was probably just because it's a tight turn. I'm assuming it was a delivery truck that just cut the turn too much.
Okay, thank you.
But
It's just
yes.
because I'm trying to get my license. I'm trying to get all the info I can. So
Okay, yeah, you needn't worry. You'll be fine.
Love it. Okay. I don't think we have any other questions, comments, so we can thank you again for the presentation. We can go on to the next item, please.
Sure. Next item, 8C, Recreation and Community Services Section Monthly Activity Report for March 2024.
Good afternoon again, President Alcazar, members of the commission. As mentioned previously, my name is Savag Garabedian, and I will be doing the Recreation and Community Services section monthly activity report. So we're going to start off with our most recent special event before we wrote this report, and that would be the city's 22nd annual Cesar Chavez commemorative event. It took place on Saturday, March 30th, 2024 at Pacific Community Center and Park in our gym. So despite the rains, we were able to do all of the event indoors. In the photos, you'll see our Mistress of Ceremonies, Ms. Anita Quinones Garbierdian, member of our CDBG Commission and the president of the Glendale Latino Association. We had council members there. You can see a picture of council member Artie Kasakian, as well as our keynote speaker, Mr. Manuel Bernal from the Cesar Chavez Foundation. It was a really good event. It was flanked with various city departments offering informational sessions and activities for people that were attending, as well as various community booths and partners and organizations promoting their product and their services. A week prior to Cesar Chavez, we had the Spring Extravaganza, also at Pacific Community Center and Park. The event, as always, featured a bunny station and photo opportunity. Our mobile recreation packages were out in full force, our carnival games and our Gundel Rocks climbing wall, as well as various city departments and community booths also participating in that event. I wanted to thank the Gundel Management Association for their donations for both Extravaganza and for the Chavez event in the form of some prizes for those who found the golden egg during their egg hunt or the agua frescas during the Chavez event. During the month of March, from March 18 to 22, we had spring day camps at 3 locations. We had day camps at Spar Heights Community Center that had 15 people. We had day camps at Pacific Community Center, which had 91 people, and we had day camps at Duke-Majan Wilderness Park. We had Nature Spring Camp. Each one had its programs and activities. Here you see some campers getting a visit from PSO Amy Tate and our K9 with GPD Brisket. Kids loved it. I had never seen camp so quiet during the time they were listening to our K9. Our Trails and Open Space programs during the month of March. On March 9, we had 7 volunteers participate in the Riverwalk Workday. March 16, we had 16 volunteers participate in the Wilderness Workday at Duke-Majan. March 17, we had a group of scouts working on their 50-mile badge, which came out to Duke-Majan and planted 3 coast live oak plants or trees and cleared a path so that it's accessible to water them in the future and for the plant's health in general. On March 23rd, we had 31 participants attend the full moon hike at Duke-Majan Wilderness Park. During the month of March, Stone Bar Nature Center had 903 visitors during the 15 days it was open, and the March Monthly Go program attracted 43 participants on March 16. The topic for the month of March was the importance of snakes in the ecosystem and what may happen if they all disappear. Our Wander the Wilderness bus program continued thanks to a grant provided by Metro. This program is being offered on the weekends at alternating sites. Saturdays at a bus picks up and drops off out of Pacific Community Center, Sundays out of Maple Park Community Center. And if you miss the first bus, there's an opportunity for a second bus. So it's picking up, dropping off, bringing back down, and dropping off again. Our Youth and Family Services section had its weekly Teen Night Out workshops at Pacific Community Center. The month kicked off with a strong focus on community service, and teens volunteered their time for various community events, including One Gundel Championship or the Spring Extravaganza, or creating goodie bags for our seniors celebrating Easter. On March 8, 2024, 47 teens participated in the department's first teen wellness event, a collaboration between Gundel Library Arts and Culture, NAMI Gundel, GUSD, Crescent Valley High School Wellness Team, and DD Hirsch. Basically, DD Hirsch is on the verge of creating a teen space, and they reached out to our department asking how they could access teens and sort of get known in the teen community. So our collaborative event was creating this teen wellness fair held at Pacific in the gym on a Friday night. And it was really well attended, surprisingly, for the first time that we were doing this event. In addition to the tables and resources that were available to the teens, we would break up the evening and have presentations by each of these groups, and then come back to general hangout and more having fun and in a more informal atmosphere. Some pictures of Teen Wellness Night. Then we'll move on to STAR, Students Training as Role Models. They met weekly during the month of March, with the including the week of spring break. And noteworthy for STAR is on March 25, they went on an excursion and returned extremely happy. They went to Discovery Cube in LA, specifically towards Hanson Dam area. Our One Glendale soccer season started in the month of March, right after spring break. And for most kids, this is going to be the last time they're going to play with their friends, their classmates. Some of them are going to graduate from the 5th grade and move on to a middle school. So this is their last opportunity to participate on a team. The One Glendale program is comprised of 4 sports seasons. Soccer is the last sport for the season until we go dark into the following school year. Therapeutic Recreation, our MIP Day, took place on Saturday, March 16, and Club Maple had its karaoke night on March 21st. For our senior programs and presentations, we had JAR, in collaboration with JAR Insurance, we had the Anthem Wellness Truck visit the Adult Recreation Center, providing information on Medicare, supplemental Medicare insurance, as well as some screenings. And we also had a separate presentation on a different day with regards to medication management. This is an important topic for seniors because sometimes they will mix medication by various providers and physicians, and sometimes they don't interact well, especially if they're taking over-the-counter supplements. One may contradict what the other one is doing. So explaining to them the importance of having a list, having their loved ones who are involved in their medical plan and care to have that list as well. In the event there's some sort of reaction, the doctors could make the best decision moving forward. And also during the month of March, our seniors celebrated Easter with our annual Easter luncheon at Spar Heights Community Center and at the Adult Recreation Center. The Elderly Nutrition Program served 3,516 meals in person at the Adult Recreation Center and Spar Heights Community Center, while we served or delivered 1,596 meals to homebound seniors through our C2 program. Our Superior Services program during the month of March served 43 unduplicated clients. Upcoming events, there's going to be a bunch, so I'm going to try to get through these as fast as possible. So our Teen Resource Fair and Employment Fair takes place in our high schools. We already did one at Hoover High. We've done one at Glendale High. The next one is later this week at Crescenta Valley High School, and another one will be at Clark Magnet High School. Our department staff take the lead in organizing and collaborating with the various high schools, and once we agree on a date, time, we open it up to the various city departments, allowing them an opportunity to join us at that event and basically discuss whether it's the services we provide or any employment opportunities that the city has or that department has. We go out to the teens and we try to recruit from our resources at our local high schools. In addition to that, we bring a DJ. We try to make it a fun lunchtime activity as opposed to their regular everyday lunch. Teen Night Out will continue to take place at Pacific Community Center on a weekly basis, but we will be dark on May 24, the weekend of Memorial Day. We have a Friday night lecture, Get Dirt on Dirt, taking place on Friday, April 19 at Duke-Majan Wilderness Park. We have a Wilderness Work Day coming up on April 20th at Duke-Majan Wilderness Park again. Wonder of the Wilderness will take place next Saturday, April 20th, and May 4th and 18th out of Pacific, and April 28th, May 12th, and May 26th out of Maple Park Community Center. The next Riverwalk Workday is scheduled for May 11. Playdate for the Planet is a collaboration with Inclusion Matters and Shane's Inspiration Playground. This event will be held at Maple Park Community Center, featuring the Shane's Inspiration Playground, the all-inclusive playground at Maple Park as the primary attraction. And with that playground, in collaboration with Shane's Inspiration and Inclusion Matters, we are making a larger event, so to speak, and reaching out and bringing the families of children or adults with special needs to the facility. So it's a MIP Day meets Inclusion Matters Play Day, and both events will happen concurrently in collaboration with each other. We have a tea whisking ceremony at Chuseon Whispering Pine Tea House at Brand Park on April 21st. We have an Arbor Day celebration at Casa Adobe de San Rafael on April 20th from 10 to 1. Parents Night Out will be coming to Spar Heights Community Center on April 26th. Again, Parents Night Out is an opportunity for parents to drop off their children at 6 p.m., pick them up by midnight, please, and for $15, we'll feed them, we'll entertain them, put on a movie, and hopefully they'll be asleep by the time you pick them up and take them back home. Housing Rights Workshop will take place at the Adult Recreation Center on Wednesday, May 1st, in partnership with the Housing Rights Center. Insects and the Plants They Love will take place on Saturday, May 4th at Tukmejian Wilderness Park. This is an interpretive hike. May 5, the Verdugo Mountains 10K trail run and hike will return after COVID and after some issues with the trail, with the hillside coming down. This event is now finally able to return. It'll be at Brand Park on its traditional first Sunday of May, and we're looking forward to this year's numbers and turnout. Looks to be a good event again. Parents Night Out will be at Pacific on the weekend of Mother's Day on May 10th from 6 p.m. to midnight. Our Go Community Program will take place on May 11th at the Tukmejian Wilderness Park and Stonebar Nature Center. Our One Glendale season will come to an end on Friday, May 17th at Pacific Community Center and Park. The first consolation game will be kicking off at 6:30 p.m., immediately followed by the championship game. And last but not least, our Glendale Youth Alliance, in collaboration with the Glendale Chamber of Commerce, will be having its annual charity golf tournament at La Cañada Flint Ridge Country Club on Monday, May 20th, 2024. For more information or for all of our programs, it's online, glendaleca.gov/CSP calendar. Everything that we do, we list on our website so that people are always informed. If it's something that isn't included in our leisure guide or quarterly publication, it will definitely be posted on our calendar. That concludes my presentation. Hopefully I wasn't too long. Any questions?
Not at all. Thank you so much, Mr. Garabatian. Just a question, because there are a few programs there that you mentioned that you were trying to recruit teens for, whether for volunteering or being involved in some capacity. Would you say that is something that we're kind of struggling with, or or is it that we are pretty successful with recruitment, but there's always room for more people to be involved?
Good question, President Alcazar. So it's not something that we're struggling for in per se, that we don't have enough of a workforce. We're all pretty successful in recruiting staff for whatever our programs we are offering. Our thing is we want to be able to recruit our own staff that are grown up in our community, that are familiar in our programs. So that's where we're going to first, whether it's a Parks Department or Public Works or Library Arts and Culture. We want to be able to connect these kids to their community that they grew up in and provide the opportunities and services. So while we are able to recruit high school students, high school graduates, and put them into our system and offer them part-time jobs to get them through college, most of our positions, the hourly positions, aren't here for somebody to make a career out of, through the end of time. However, we want to be able to recruit and bring our own kids. So if we see a kid that used to be in our Teen Night Out program, that now went to GYA, that now hung out and is a volunteer and is now a facility attendant too, I've got one, that's good for us. That's what we want. It shows more pride and passion in what they're doing and familiarity with the programs, and that's the type of teens that we're looking for and we're hopeful for. They come for us for one season and then they move on, not a problem. We have nothing against that. But we want to bring our own kids, so to speak, and our community is our own kids.
No, thank you for that breakdown. I love that we do that. I wanted to, give our ex officio commissioners an opportunity to, because we also kind of recruited you from our high schools, from our local colleges, if you had any thoughts on how we can continue to bridge that gap or connect more people to our programs. We welcome those thoughts. You don't have to say anything now. We can definitely, there will be more reports in the future. You can definitely, we invite you to share your thoughts on that. But if anyone else has any comments, please.
I have some questions about the cruise night again.
Sure.
Where are we? What we doing different, and is the same?
President Alcazar, Commissioner
I know it's
Khalfan,
early.
I turn around to Gabrielle, who's leading the charge on cruise night, so she'd be best to answer.
Hello, President Alcazar, members of the commission. I'm Gabrielle Golia, Community Services Manager with the department. Verdugo 10K, whew, that one's first. That's our next event. Cruise Night coming in July is going really well. We have, I believe, about 100 cars registered already. They're rolling in. We anticipate having no issue getting plenty of car reservations or registrations this year. And the event will be pretty similar to last year. We don't have any new or different activities going on. Our performers this year are going to be a tribute to the Doobie Brothers, a tribute to Bob Dylan, and a tribute to the boss man himself. So Bruce Springsteen. So it'll be a fun event.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, I had a question about that interaction with our GUSD students and our teens in the city, because I was reading about the mentoring in middle schools, and I was just thinking about the opportunities there are to possibly work with the school district in a way where we can use alternate to suspension, ATS, that they have to maybe bridge that in a way where they can use this mentorship instead of going to suspension. Because I remember one time I got ATS, being the high school student I was, for something very small, but we had just gone to the school on a Saturday. We just sat there and did nothing. But, looking at these programs with the mentoring, with the opportunities for, joining a different program, that bridge I feel like can be, I think increased. And so I want to see what opportunities there are with the school district to maybe do that, if that's something we can do.
Sure, President Alcazar, Commissioner Krikorian. So it's interesting you bring up mentoring in the middle schools. That's another program that our Youth and Family Services section has been heading up. That's a collaboration between Glendale Unified School District, Homenep and Glendale ARA chapter, and the department. And just for a brief background, throughout the semester, our staff on a weekly, if not monthly basis, will be visiting and connecting these teens to opportunities. When Glendale Unified School District reached out with their concern that some of the teams are indifferent, no matter what you do, they're not attending class, they're not performing in the classroom, they just don't care. And they don't care because they're seeing other examples of successful people in one way, shape, or form that don't have the education, don't have the experience or the background, and they're doing whatever it is and making money hand over fist, for example. And these teens have that approach and saying, I don't need this. I'm going to be doing this when I graduate, and I'm going to be making 4 times what your salary is. And that approach, that demeanor, and that attitude is what they wanted to address. So with the mentorship program, we bring community partners such as, for example, Commissioner Sardar Begin has attended in the past and talked about the important role sports has played in his life and how that has translated to being successful and where he's at today, or community service and engaging in volunteerism and how that has translated to getting to where he is at today. Other examples are people that students may look up to, whether it's a local player that played for San Diego State and played on the a national team for a country, for example. If bringing these types of positive role models that are in the GUSD system or former GUSD grads so they could have something to relate to is what we try to do. In that conversation in creating this program, we realized that addressing these kids at a high school level might be too late in the game because they're already set in their way. So that's why we brought it back to the middle school level. And the ATS program may or may not be back yet. I'm not 100% certain, but this was a way to keep these kids out of the ATS program, out of the SARB meetings, student attendant review board meetings, and out of those situations so that they could be better students, better role models for their colleagues, and not fall into some of these traps that they're seeing.
That's awesome. I'm smiling because I'm excited because that sounds really cool. One of the main things that we started at the school district when I graduated was the GUSD Alumni Association, which we started with Dr. Ekchen. And I want to see because we're in the process of kind of creating that with the school district as well, how we can increase that. And if I can join one of these meetings, I'm not sure if we can see when the next one is. I'd like to just see how they work and how we can bridge that, because you're right. I mean, many middle school students don't know where they want to go, what they want to do, and they don't have that person to kind of help them. And I think they have that mindset that, oh, I don't need school. I can go and do this and make a lot more money than you, and especially in our communities. And so I think that there's a lot of opportunities there to continue to partner. So if I can join the next meeting, I think I'd like to, and see how we can increase that.
Thank you for volunteering, Commissioner Kevorkian. Our staff will be reaching out to you
Sure.
for the next opportunity.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions?
I think that that program can help a lot because, like, as a high school student, I know a lot of people that have that mindset, like where they see successful people in social media that talk about how they don't need school, how they didn't, get A's or stuff, and they have Ferraris or Bugattis or whatever it's called. And I feel like that program can help a lot with their mindset, and it's really smart that you guys moved it back to the middle school instead of high school, because it is pretty much, I don't want to say too late, but it's better to start off in middle school than high school. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I think having experienced some of the kids myself personally on a couple of years in a row, I think the point is that unfortunately with social media, a lot of kids, especially because parents don't really have control over what's on social media and they're free to do whatever they want with their phones nowadays. A lot of kids do ignore the importance of education and getting a higher degree, and instead they just turn to fast ways to make money, whether it's to try to be an influencer, as everyone is trying these days on Instagram or TikTok. And I think that it is very important to reach them at a very, very young age to make them realize that for every one successful influencer, there's about 1 billion others that are not successful. And more importantly, that what you see on social media is not the reality of life. A lot of the expensive cars and jewelry and clothes that you see isn't necessarily that person's. It's props that they rent to make it seem like they're very successful, to get them more followers and hopefully reach success. And the other issue is, I think, and this is deeper than the Parks and Recs Commission. I think the definition of success has changed. Success back in the days was, how many people you could touch and how effective you are in your community. Whereas now it's what car do you drive and, what's the label on your t-shirt. So hopefully with some of these programs, we can change the mindset of these kids and make them realize that making changes and positive changes in people's lives is far, far more important than, the watch you're able to sport or the types of shoes or the purse you carry. So I think getting them at a younger age is very, very important.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think there's anything else on the agenda. Is that right?
That's correct. We don't have any more items.
So we will move to adjournment then. It is 3:34. Thank you, everyone, for participating in our conversation. Again, we'll move Lot 11 to next month. So everyone else in the public, please come back.